I am on a sorting mission, everybody. And in my garage, I've got a massive bin of Lego. Like I'm talking a massive bin of Lego that needs to be cleaned. And that's what we're going to be taking care of today. It weighs 42.8 pounds or 19.4 kilograms. So it is absolutely massive. However, not everything in here is Lego. Look at this, we've got a pink sea turtle and some weird off-brand bricks that I've never seen before. And this lot of Lego is disgusting. It is filthy. Oh my gosh. So you've got to dump it all out, extract all the non-Lego, and then give it a nice warm bath. I'm very grateful for this. It's going to be like massive. There are so many parts in here. That's fantastic. But the process of cleaning it all is going to be somewhat of a nightmare, but I'm very curious to see the end result. So let's get started. So I'm actually going to be doing this in my bathroom, of course, because that's where I have my bathtub. I'm going to lay down some poly because I don't know how much dust and debris is going to be in here, and I'm going to tape that poly down just to preserve my floor and capture most of the dust. And here we go, going to dump it all out. And this is a lot worse than I originally anticipated, and that's because there was liquid in the container. So on the very bottom, oops, over here, you can see that everything is stuck to it and there's liquid down there. So I don't know how long that liquid has been in this container, but it smells almost moldy and it is absolutely revolting. I'm glad I put the painter's poly down, and I gotta get this, like everything non-Lego, extracted as quickly as possible and put this into my bathtub with some nice Blue Dawn dish soap, like a lot of it, like ASAP, because this is just disgusting. I might have found the source of the liquid. I gotta put some gloves on. This is gonna be quite the task here. I would throw this out, but now I'm just saying that this is more so of like an experimental thing. Oh man, like this is pretty bad. Got to get this in the tub right away, and I think this lot of Lego is going to take a double wash, so I'll have to do a preliminary wash. Maybe I should have started with that, but I'm just going to throw all the non-Lego and all the disgusting stuff back in this bin, and I'm going to throw this bin away. It's gone, because this is real bad, everybody. Oh my gosh. So I actually got this bulk lot from somebody who passed away, and they were sort of a hoarder, like a legit hoarder. So this is what I'm going to call 40 pounds of Lego from a hoarder. And I was excited about it. I was like, okay, well, there's going to be some gems in here, because I looked on the surface and I was like, oh wow, there's some nice big green plates. Yes, there is lots of off-brand stuff, but maybe there's going to be some really good pieces in there, like lots of 2x brick, lots of big plates, lots of light gray plates, some dark gray plates, maybe some brackets, maybe some snot bricks, and just like all the handy dandy stuff that we use every day in the Lego room. It's sat in my garage for, I think, nearly a year now, just because I kept looking at it and I was like, ooh, that looks like quite the project. Oh my gosh, like there's a lot of stuff in there and it's not clean. So then we're getting ready to move to the new studio, and I was like, okay, I've got to deal with this giant bin here. It's got to get dealt with. I don't want to bring this to the new studio and have to clean it, and I don't want to bring it over there and have it sit on a shelf for another year. That's just ridiculous. Nor do I want to leave it in my garage. So I was like, I got to deal with it now. Let's process this. Let's get her done. So I'm pretty much killing my back, killing my knees here, picking out all the non-Lego. I'm picking out all the non-Lego before I clean it because there's a lot of it, so it's consuming a lot of bulk, and I don't want to wash it if I'm just going to throw it away anyway. I would give it away, but believe me, I don't think anybody wants the stuff that I'm picking out. It is not high quality at all. So I'm picking out most of that just because, once again, I don't want to clean it all if I'm not going to use it, and also the drying process. I want this Lego to be laid out on a towel in a thin layer so that it actually dry. So the less of it there is, the easier it is to process. So I noticed that there was a hole in the poly, and most of the liquid that was in there, I think it was actually mostly water. I don't think it was from that popsicle. But that water was leaking through my poly. So I'm like, okay, we got to get this in the bathtub. So I'm transferring it all into the bathtub, even though I didn't remove all of the non-Lego. And I'm using a bunch of Blue Dawn dish soap and like really hot water. And I'm just sort of shaking it around as I transferred in there. I figured I got to get this stuff clean. I've got to get it off my floor too, because I don't want to damage my bathroom floor, like the grout or whatever it may be. I don't want a bunch of liquid just sitting on there for a long period of time. And then once it's all in there, I start to break it down. I've got to keep the gloves on because it's so hot. I made the water so hot. I can't use my bare hands. So at first, I'm trying to take all the Lego apart. I've got to take it all apart so I can expose as much surface area as possible, because it all needs to be cleaned, and I also don't want the water to get trapped in between the pieces. And it's funny, I'm trying to like take it apart with the gloves on, but I can't really get a good grip because you're wearing rubber gloves, so I'm like really struggling to get the Lego to come apart, but I've got to wear the gloves because I made the water so darn hot. Finally, it cools down enough that I can start to use my hands, and I'm just sort of breaking down all of the mini builds. Got to get all the little pre-constructed things broken down, and as I come across more non-Lego, I throw that in a bin and I transfer it into the large bin. Right now, the water's actually looking pretty clean. Like, it's not too bad at all. Like, it's looking pretty good, and I'm starting to feel pretty good about this process because I see some big plates, I see some palm leaves. There's some interesting like Bionicle pieces in there. There's all sorts of tires that I don't really need, but I do see quite a bit of tile. The most of this Lego here is from a long time ago, so there's not really a whole lot of like weird pieces like the brackets and the snot bricks and stuff like that. It's more of like your generic old school pieces. But as I continue to go here, the water keeps getting dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, because as I'm taking everything apart, I'm making sure to like rustle the Lego around, which is just sort of removing all of the dirt, because you've got to like move this stuff around. And it's just funny because the water started clear and it starts just to get like brown or like gray, and then eventually it's just like disgusting water. But if you see any cool parts in there that are notable, you let me know in the comment section below, because I know there's some old school like Bionicle pieces and stuff in here that might actually have a good value. I don't really know if they do or not. I'm more into it for like the Lego City pieces and just like bulk pieces that I need. But if you see something cool, let me know. So I'm going to transfer all these Lego pieces over one colander at a time. I'm just making sure to grab it with the colander, shake out all the dirty water, run it under some cool water, shake out as much water as possible. But I will say that there's a lot of Lego, and I think I did too much. I don't have enough space in my bathroom here to lay out like 6 towels. I would prefer to have it a single layer of Lego rather than pieces being stacked on top of each other for the drying process. I don't really want to bring this under like a carpeted area. I'm really glad that I didn't do this in the basement, because I would have dumped that out on a table and discovered that there was water, and it would have been an absolute nightmare. So I'm really happy that I decided to do it in the bathroom. Now you can see that water is like super gray. The more I like rinse it, the more like dirt and grime comes off this Lego, and you can see all the soap in there and the parts just floating around. It is disgusting. But I'm doing a pretty good job of just shaking out all the dirty water, rinsing it, and then once again shaking out as much water as I possibly can so that it can help expedite that drying process and not make the towels like disgustingly wet, even though that's going to happen. So I'm actually going to have to do 2 stages of drying. I'm going to lay out 1 layer of towels, dry it all, and then put it back in a container, lay out some fresh towels, and then dry it all again. Oh my gosh, that water is pretty disgusting, hey? There's still a little bit of Lego in there. How am I going to drain the tub without it going down the drain? Well, luckily, I have this tool right here, and I use this when I bathe my dog so the dog hair doesn't go down the drain, and no Lego part is going to fit through there either. So what I'm going to do is just hold this over top of the drain and let all that gross water pass by my hand, and that will keep all of the Lego that remains in the tub and not in my plumbing. So this was a real treat, holding that thing down, letting all this disgusting water pass through my fingers. That was revolting. Oh my gosh, but it had to be done. I don't want to ruin my plumbing, that's for sure. And there you go, you can see a bunch of Lego left over in the bottom of the tub there. Well, I've actually done some pretty disgusting things in my life, and I can add this to the list. Hey, look! She made it! Do you want to build a snowman? Oh my gosh, there's Elsa. And yeah, that was gross. This whole process is gross. Oh, look at all that stuff. I don't want that going down my drain, so thankfully I have that. Now, that thing does like suction because of the water draining, but I just wanted to make sure no Lego went down my drain, so I did hold it in place just in case it failed. And then, perfect. Here we have the Lego on 4 dog towels. That's what we used to dry our dogs with. And I want to try and spread it out a bit more so that it can dry. So I'm just going to try and spread it out on the floor here and leave it sitting overnight. Maybe move it around a bit so all the water can sort of go onto the towels there. Maybe even like dump it all back into a large container, get some fresh towels down, lay down some fresh towels, and then just repeat that process until it's dry. And I still need to go through here and pick out everything that's not Lego, because there's still a lot of non-Lego mixed in there, but there's definitely a lot of good pieces in here. Not a bad way to spend the afternoon, eh? Not at all. So was it worth it in the end? Maybe not, just because there was so much off-brand Lego, but I think the process was really cool. I think that was pretty neat how I was able to take this really big, disgusting bin of Lego and turn it into something that looks pretty good. However, there still is a bunch of off-brand Lego that has to be removed from here. After I took this video, I did put it all back in a bin. I got rid of those towels. I put down some fresh towels, and it's up there drying. I also spent another hour picking out the off-brand Lego. There's some pretty good pieces in there. You saw like a Star Wars windscreen at the start there. There's a bunch of Bionicle stuff. There's some palm leaves, some trees, and a bunch of like Technic bricks, of some plates as well, some 2x2 bricks. I don't know if it was worth it in the end though, just because I had to invest so much time in cleaning it, and now I still have to sort it all as well. And I think there's going to be a lot of like pieces that don't really have any value to me. It's just sort of like clouding the collection, if you know what I mean. But if I pick out everything that I like, then I'm still going to have, 5-10 pounds of stuff that's actually valuable. So maybe it's worth it in the end, but it was definitely a lot of labor and a lot of disgusting hours spent on it. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on by. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the very near future. Farewell.